Now, this is a low point golf lesson, and it's specifically for a beginner or novice golfer, anyone that tends to hit the top of the golf ball. And if you are someone that introduces the game to friends and family and you're on the driving range, this is going to most likely be the number one miss. And it can be very discouraging. So I would encourage you to watch as well so you know exactly the best way to get the club to swing low enough to strike the golf ball solid so they can have some fun watching the ball go up in the air. Now, before we get into it, I just want to go through the setup importance. So, number one is the lead hand grip. So, assuming they're right handed, this is their left hand, and the left hand needs to be actually in this position here, not this one. So, where the left thumb will actually go on the other side of the golf club. So, think of this as a clock. This would be like 1 o'clock. So, and the test is very simple. We're going to lift the golf club up vertically, and we want to make sure that the club face, the leading edge of that golf club, stays vertical. Then you'll know that the lead hand is in a good position. Now, posture would be the next thing for a beginner golfer, and this is the way to do it. So hold the golf club out to where the shaft of the golf club is parallel to the ground, and encourage them to feel the weight of the golf club here and how the upper arms, the right and the left, attached to the side of your body. Okay, so this is structure, and this is what we would call connection. And from here, all we would do is we would bend over from the waist, not the hips, the waist. So just simply put the golf club on the ground in a very natural way, and there should be a slight roll to the back. Now, the way not to do this is from the hips, where we stick your bum out like this. Okay, so this will extend the arms. This will get you disconnected right away. So very simply attach the upper arms to the side and then tip over from the waist. Okay, a little bit of knee flex, and a beginner golfer is really very ready to go at that point. They're in a very athletic position. Now, what I've done is I've taken a line here, just an alignment stick. The red one right here represents my hand path. Yellow line here represents my target line. And all I want it to do is make sure that my hand path goes back on this line here, the red line. So I don't take the hands straight back, and I certainly don't take them out, because that would create disconnection in the arms. Now I've lost that feeling of having the upper arms close to my side. And the way to retain that is very simply to make my hands go back on the red line. Now, from this position, all we're going to do is we're going to encourage you to lift the golf club up with your wrists while staying connected. Now, that's going to put the golf club in more of a vertical orientation instead of a horizontal one. Now, I like to call this weightless, because the heavy part of a golf club is right in the head. And when that goes vertical, the heavy part is right over the hands, and it feels very, very light. That would feel very heavy. And this is a very interesting position, because we see a lot of golfers doing this. And of course, that would be good for baseball, okay, or possibly cricket, but that's not going to make the golf club go down. So we want to get that golf club in a weightless position. So here's the backswing, hand path to the inside, and lift the golf club at that vertical position, or what we call weightless. Okay, now from this weightless position, the magic happens. Okay, now this is going to be unusual, but I want you to tell the beginner golfer, or yourself, if you're a topper, to allow gravity to let the golf club go straight down. Okay, and I want you to hit the ground very simply. From this weightless position with the shaft vertical, it's very easy to just allow the golf club just to fall to the ground, almost like you're hammering a steak. Okay, there's a steak right here, and you're going to hammer it. And that's the movement of the downswing. Now notice when I do this, my upper arms are still connected to my body. Okay, so I'm not up here, I'm not disconnected, I'm still here, and I'm just letting the golf club fall to the ground. That's the next step. And while I'm giving this lesson, I'll often just reiterate to the student that, look how well you're hitting the ground now, and that's exactly what's necessary to hit the golf ball. Now the problem is, we're hitting the ground in the wrong place. And so we need to go to the next step, which will allow the club to hit the ground right in front of the golf ball. So now we need another move. Okay, now that you're getting used to striking the ground with connection, okay, and the wrist moving the golf club down, we're making friends with the earth here. Now we need a way of moving that low point from here to in front of the golf ball. And it only takes one movement. Now, I want you to locate your right hip, okay? Just put your hand right there. It's all about that. That needs to move right down that red line, which is right towards the target. And that's going to allow the hips to shift forward. It's going to allow the pelvis to rotate and even lift. And that's the magic move of the downswing. And that takes that low point from here right to in front of the golf ball. Okay, so very simply, okay, from the hands inside, connected arms, okay, the golf club can hit the ground easily. And now we move the pelvis right down that red line, okay, right into the follow through. And you can see that when I do that, it moves the low point right in front of the golf ball. And you can see that I even stay connected in my finish. Okay, here we go. Okay. And there it is. Now there's two ways you can go wrong here with this pelvis movement. This pelvis could shoot out to the right. And if that moves that way, we're going to see that the low point goes behind the golf ball. Now that's what we call early extension of the hips, where the hips are moving too much towards the golf ball. It's really the right hip moving a little bit too much to the right. That's all it is. And of course, if your low point goes too far forward, that means your pelvis is probably moving to the left, okay, this way here. And of course, that's going to move the path of the golf club to the left, or having that over the top movement. We don't want that either. So very simply, hands inside, connected arms, upper arms, and then move the pelvis down that red line and encourage the golfer or yourself to strike the ground. Okay, make friends with the earth, get that divot in front of the golf ball. It's as easy as that. Okay, once again, hands inside, club up into the weightless position, hit the ground a few times, okay, and then simply move the right hip towards the target.